This is the Sports Timeout Podcast.
This is it, baby.
With CJ Perry, Tony Caronco, Tristen Howe, and your host, Wes Underwood.
Labonta tucks it in the corner. 5 BK goals for Labonta.
Harder than all, give me the ball, never will fall down. Ever so tall, step in the crawl, look where we are now. I don't know where to begin.
Service from Kaiser, the Rockets. CC Kaiser brings us level. Fava, cross in front, finish. It's Hamilton. What do we call this? The leg guitar? Nice. Labonta Rock.
And those were the sights and sounds of some big events this last week. And, welcome to the Sports Timeout Podcast, brought to you by Jefferson's and Kraken Cajun Seafood House in Joplin. Wes Underwood, Tony, Tristen, back at it again this week. Earlier this week, we got a surprise game, Carl Junction, Webb City tonight. So why not? We'll open up in the NWSL and we talk Kansas City Current. The streak continues. They are now at 12 games, longest streak in the league. And, I sat down with Kristen Hamilton and Elizabeth Ball and talked a little bit about the game, the new rankings, and their thoughts on the streak. Check it out.
Stop podcast. Kristen, you got an incredible shot there in the second half that unfortunately hit Murphy in the face, and she took the shot. Were you impressed with how she got back up so quickly to go defend the next shot?
Yeah, Casey's a world-class goalkeeper. This is why she keeps getting called in the national team. She makes big saves. That was unfortunate. That's something like as a forward, I scored today, but that's probably what I'll be thinking about tonight going to bed. So missing a breakaway sucks. But then, CC hitting the post, it was just like a perfect storm of what happened. But Casey's world-class.
Also from Wes, for both of you, you guys move up in the standings again, currently in the third spot. What are your thoughts on that?
Cool. We're taking it game by game. We want to win. So that's what it is.
Yeah, I agree. It's sick. We've come so far. We were down at the bottom for a while there at the beginning of the season, and to climb our way back up is awesome. But that doesn't mean really anything yet. So we got a big job to do coming up.
All right.
We don't talk about it really. I don't think it's something that, we're not necessarily sitting and harping on it. Media brings it up. You'll see it on social media and stuff, but you won't hear us sitting in the locker room talking about, we're however many games unbeaten. I couldn't even tell you. It's just not something we talk about. It's awesome. It's great. It's great for the club, the success of us, but it's just focusing on the next game and taking it one game at a time and continuing to grow from this game to the next. Yeah.
A lot of those ties even, I think we'd want to have wins. So I think a lot of it is just going back to, hey, what can we do better? And what are we doing well? And what can we keep doing better? So, it's great to be unbeaten. We want a few more shutouts, but yeah.
But yeah, I'm enjoying this streak too. These guys are really humble about it. They're acting like professionals, and it's fantastic. They even joke around, and it seems like they're just, okay, we don't care. But obviously deep down they care. But what are your guys' thoughts here? Do you think they'll keep this streak going, or do you think it comes to an end soon? They get 2 weeks off, by the way, before they.
I think that, the probability, just statistically, it's really hard, to stay undefeated. The more games you play, it is, it seems like in the women's soccer league is, a little bit more lopsided right now. I think there's a lot more, Kansas City, a little bit more of a powerhouse, which is awesome. So congratulations to the Current. But I don't think it lasts forever.
Yeah.
Naturally, because it's soccer, anything can happen. In the women's, national team, the U.S. women's national team has lost before, and they're the best team for women's soccer. So at the moment, I think they got another 2 or 3 games in them. go undefeated, but I think they'll end up losing before then. I'd rather them get the loss out of the way, so that way they could rebuild that momentum going into playoffs.
Who knows? They may carry in the undefeated streak into the playoffs, but I get you there. I understand that. Tristen, agree?
Yeah, I agree. Tony pretty much took the words right out of my mouth. Especially when the 2 weeks off come into play, like Tony was saying, there's a whole lot of momentum they have right now with this streak they're on. So taking 2 weeks off may put a damper on things. It's happened before in many other sports many times, so it could happen. So I'm kind of with Tony. I don't see him going very much longer without losing. So, but hopefully they can keep it going as long as possible.
Yeah, I hope they prove you wrong. I mean, you should know you're getting ready to go on a 2-week break too, so we'll see how you are when you come back. Continuing to sporting, man, this week Sporting picked up 2 spots in the rankings and are no longer in last place. I'm impressed. And Tristen, you mentioned a couple weeks ago that Vermes was on the hot seat. I sure hope not now. Do you foresee him staying on that hot seat, or what are your thoughts here?
I've said it once, maybe 4 times since we went and watched the Sporting KC game, but ever since Tommy and Agata came into that locker room, it feels like the atmosphere has completely shifted. Agata's getting goals like no other right now, and that's got to make Coach Vermes really happy and really pleased, because they were talking about him being on the hot seat at the end of the season because of how poorly Sporting KC has been playing. But here at the last stretch of the season, they've really put on a show, and they're above 500, I believe. Way up there. So if they keep it going, and hopefully
it's where it counts. But
yeah. I mean, I don't know whether or not they're going to be able to make the playoffs this year, but right now they're giving her hell. So I say right now it's a big question mark whether or not Vermes stays on. But if they keep going as hot as they're going right now, I see him coming back for next season.
Yeah. Not to mention a guy that's also been good in this break, Shalloway, gets a 4-year extension. He'll be with Sporting for next 4 years. So that's awesome. Big pickup there. Good move by Sporting. Tony, your thoughts?
So I think, we've touched on this a few times. They had 2 really good players that have, been injured, are going to be injured through the rest of the season. So I would assume as maybe, as an organization, they can, appreciate the stuff they have done. And the foundation that Vermes has been building ever since, he hasn't had his weapons. They added Agata and Tommy, and they're balling out. And I can only imagine how good Sporting KC is going to be next year when they re-add those weapons that they lost for this season. So even if they don't make it to the playoffs, and as long as they keep competing the way they are, I don't see Vermes being on that hot seat. But if he makes it to the playoffs, in the shape that they were, even a month ago, to now, I mean, I think Vermes needs a raise.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Taking this team from what it was and the injuries and everything. I mean, even maybe coach of the year possibility.
Possible.
I wouldn't go there for him, but I do. I mean, I do have a whole lot of respect for him. I just, I don't think the coach of the year should go to a team with a losing record.
I'll let you talk to him when he gets coach there.
He doesn't like me already.
To touch on what Tony was saying, I think Sporting KC has made a complete 180.
Yeah.
Since before we went and saw him, Wes, and like Tony was saying, adding those kind of weapons in next year. Next year it's gonna start out hopefully with momentum on their side, and having everybody back healthy. There's no telling what Vermes is going to be able to do with those kind of weapons at his disposal. So, if I'm a Sporting KC fan, I'm going to say that be really excited for the start of next season, because I think they're going to come out hot.
I already am. Go get your season tickets, guys, because it's going to be fun. Now we briefly step into baseball and talk Albert Pujols. 6 away, guys. 2 homers shy of A-Rod for 4th all-time on the list. He has 31 games left to do so. Does he do it? And not to mention, will Judge hit 60 plus? This is an exciting season for baseball. Records being shattered potentially. Judge is making it watchable again. Pujols is definitely making it watchable again. I mean, we had the lockout at the very beginning, but these 2 guys are quickly making you forget that. So, but anyway, does he do it? 31 games left. Does he do it? Tony?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Even if he hits if he only hits 1 home run every 5 games, that's all he has to do. And I'm pretty sure he's averaging more than that already. So I think he's fine.
Yeah. Tristen? I'll add one in for you.
Yeah.
60 plus.
Yeah, I think they both do. I think right now, I've got a couple of points to make actually. For one, what a way to end your career playing baseball than the way Pujols is going right now. I mean, he's swinging the bat and looking like he did in his prime.
Yeah.
And what a way to and if I'm not mistaken, the Cardinals are actually in a very good spot right now to make a playoff run. No?
Oh yeah, they're in first game by 5-6 games currently. First place.
So I mean, right now, all the cards. The ball is in the Cardinals' court right now. I mean, Pujols swinging the bat the way he is, and the way that the Cardinals are able to finish games right now, go to the playoffs and go very deep into the playoffs. And my second point to that is that you're going to have to remind me again, Wes, who McGuire was going up against in the early 2000s when he hit
Barry Bonds, just everybody. Sammy Sosa was the one you're talking about, but I mean, he went up against all the great. So
yeah, so I mean, it's really bringing back the old feeling of baseball where you're getting some you're battling for the home run crown at the end of the season and also trying to get to the World Series. So right now we're not even October yet, and baseball is starting to get real exciting before playoff season starts. So I'm excited, Wes. I hope you're excited.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, you should be happy. Folks are looking good.
Oh yeah.
So
next, could the Yankees and the Cardinals potentially play each other in the World Series?
Yeah, very well could.
Yeah, they can.
Yep, that would be one heck of a game. I mean, even for Pujols to be there too. Wainwright.
Yeah, I mean, heck of a series. I mean, Pujols and Judge going at it for a possible 7-game series. I mean, who could ask for more?
And if they tie, they duke it out and fight.
I mean, 3-3. You may have to talk that over with Kamish, but we now head into the NFL, and I want to talk top 5 defenses in the league. And, well, let's go for it. What you got? I want to hear yours first, and then I'll agree or disagree. No explanations, just top 5, 1 through 5.
Me or Tristan?
We'll go you first, yeah.
I'm going to say the Bills.
Okay.
The Steelers.
Yeah.
The Rams.
Okay.
The Saints. And the Ravens.
Okay. Tristan?
Those are solid picks. Yeah, number 1's got to be the Bills right now.
Oh yeah.
I'll put the Saints. I'll put the Saints. I mean, I believe in the Cowboys to do well this year, so I'm gonna put the Cowboys at 3.
Okay.
And then Bucks at 4.
Okay.
And then did I say the Saints already?
Yes.
Okay. I think I'm not putting the Chiefs in the top 5. I think they're going to have a terrible year defensively.
I don't agree with top 5, but I think top 10.
top 10's good. Good spot to put him in. Shoot, I need one more. I'll put the Rams. Rams is a solid pick at 5.
Yeah, I like all those. Go Bills, Rams, Bucks. I'll throw Chiefs in at number 5 just to make some fun. Number 4, I'll go Cowboys if they can stay healthy. They could be good. They can be good. Steelers are my number 6. I mean, I got to pick Chiefs over the Steelers, but I like that, especially since TJ Watt's hurt there. So I know I said no explanation, but I got to explain that one, why I'm swapping Chiefs for Steelers there. Not for hate, just because TJ's on the bench for a bit. So, and then next up in the NFL, we talk John Gruden and his comments. He is ashamed about what has come about these emails. I'll make no excuse for it. This is him, by the way. It's shameful, but I'm still a good person. I go to church. I've been married for 31 years. I have 2 great boys. I still love football. I've made some mistakes, but he doesn't believe anyone else hasn't either, making mistakes, by the way. And he asked for forgiveness. Do you guys accept his apology, or Tony?
Man, it's a tough situation. Like, I understand, where the NFL is coming from in regards to like the actions that they took, or I guess they didn't take, but he stepping down. So yes, we can accept his apology, but at this point, like, does the NFL win or lose if they add him back into the NFL as to be a potential coach? You know what I mean? What's the image? Ultimately, the NFL is going to protect their image.
Yeah.
So is that image gonna hinder, or is it gonna help the NFL at the end of the day? If it makes money, it makes sense.
I want to know the whole list. He's a guy people have been after for a while, and I think he just ticked off the wrong person. But there's got to be so much more on that list.
I agree, but I don't think. I guarantee you, 31 out of the 32 head coaches have some sort of dirty laundry out there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Because nobody's perfect. I'm sure you have dirty laundry. I'm sure Tristen has dirty laundry. I have dirty laundry. At the end of the day, no one's perfect. If John Gruden is 100% correct, it doesn't matter who they put in his spot. At the end of the day, whoever they replace him with is going to have the same issues. Maybe not the same issues, but very, very. What's that?
Roger Goodell is imperfect, but he's out there handing out suspensions left and right.
Yep.
Fans, whatever. Tristen?
I mean, yeah. Even my own Cowboys, Jerry Jones is in some tight issues right now with some girl that claims to be his daughter. Anyways, yeah. I mean, it's a tough one to say. Obviously, he's getting a lot of heat because with how famous he is and everything, and how much money he's got, all that. So obviously, he's on the radar, and everyone's going to know about what he did. But I do agree with him on the fact that all of us makes mistakes, and all of us have said bad things that we didn't mean, and stuff that makes that's not us anymore type of stuff. But and that's just kind of the crappy part that he's in with the NFL, is that everyone knows his business. And I think with that being said, he should have definitely took more risk in keeping under wraps what he was saying, because obviously someone was going to find out about it, and at that point you got to think of it kind of at face value and realize that I think he's just upset because he got caught, not because he actually feels wrongly about what he said. I think he's upset because he got caught.
Could be. On that note, another guy that's in some issues with the NFL. Lastly, we'll talk about now former NFL punter Matt Araiza, and I mean, alleged in rape allegations. His lawyer comes out and says he will be vindicated here, and I mean, he said that on Monday, saying it's a money grab from this woman. Also, San Diego State University came out Monday as well, stating that the cooperation with local authorities releasing Xavier Leonard and another player this last season, because they weren't on the rosters, but they were supposedly in that allegation as well. And I believe he said that the police found out that they were the two that did the most damage and that they did something. They also gave the team counseling after the incident from a former rape victim. She came in and talked to him. They got their spiel from that, which, I mean, I'm not trying to go over it, but I wholeheartedly believe that this guy may have just have been there and he cooperated with police, and the other two that did the dirty deeds are gone. And I mean, they were cut from the team. Should they be in jail? Well, yeah. And I think that's what this girl wants. But also, after hearing all this stuff, I mean, what are your guys' thoughts? She's going for money for sure. I mean, why wait until he makes it into the NFL to finally go after him? It was last October that all this came out. It's almost October now, and here's where we sit. And what, Monday, all this was released, Tuesday, something like that. So I don't know. What are your all's thoughts here, Tristen?
I'm pretty kind of lost for words with the situation in general. You know, I really can't put my thoughts on what I think happened, because, you know, in that situation, yeah, he could have just been there and it happened, but at the same time, he's guilty by association, in my opinion. You know,
Yeah.
he watched it happen. He could have put a stop to it and decided not to. So
Yeah.
I think whatever he's getting, whether he did it or not, he wholeheartedly deserves, because again, he should have been responsible enough to put it into it, and he didn't. So that's where I stand
I mean,
on
they
it.
say the only thing I can say is he cooperated with police. So, I mean, we still don't know the full story. She just came out as anonymous. So, well, I mean, we're going to hear a lot more. It's like Deshaun Watson. His trial's still not finished. I mean, do I believe the guy did it? Probably. But what did he do? Not 100% sure. It could have been just a slap on the butt for him. But, you know, we'll see. Tony?
So I think, so first of all, if the lawyer's coming out and, you know, Matt Ariza's lawyer's coming out and saying it didn't happen, it's just a money grab, a lawyer's not going to come out to the public and say that if he truly doesn't believe that and he truly doesn't have the evidence to back it up.
No, they would have no comment.
Yeah, they would be like, oh, we're not going to be commenting at this time, you know, kind of like what happened with Deshaun Watson. You know, they stayed quiet, and then eventually Deshaun Watson came out and he said, I apologize to all the women that I may have offended, this and that.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, he took some sort of, you know, he accepted some sort of responsibility to the guilt. And this is not what's going on in this case.
No.
Did it happen? I can't say. No one knows. You know, it's between him and God at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But I know that this has happened in previous. There's been previous situations that's been very, very similar. You know, in different universities, and it affects, you know, those people at the end of the day.
Very much so.
This happened in another university, and the girl came out. She said that basically the same thing happened to her, and then she ended up dropping all charges because she said it wasn't true. You know, it affected like 7 or 8 players on that team. You know, she said the same thing happened as this girl did.
Yeah.
And then I've mentioned Sean Oakman before. Sean Oakman has, you know, he had an NFL career ahead of him, and some selfish woman decided to ruin it.
Yep.
Did it? So I'm not saying that that's the situation that we're in, but I think, like, ultimately there needs to, you know, again, I think the NFL is jumping to conclusions way too soon.
Yeah.
And they need to investigate what's going on. You know, let the law do what it's saying. And then if the NFL feels that there is enough evidence, which ultimately, if they go to prison or they accept, some sort of plea, have them have that player give all that money back to the NFL. Like, okay, yeah, we'll give you, your $5, $10 million, $40 million that we're guaranteeing you. But if you get sentenced and you go to prison, you owe us all that money back.
Yeah. Agree. Well said. And on that note, we will now head into the local sports update brought to you by Trackside Burgers. They will be moving sometime this month to 1515 West 10th Street. They have already cleared out their old building, so they'll be over there soon and being renovated from what I've heard. And that'll be over in Joplin, so catch them for your tailgate needs. Joplin fans, take advantage of that. We know we'll miss them here in Webb City. And first up, we have Neosho Tennis hosting Republic tonight. Webb City will host Willard tonight. Carl Junction will host Nixa. Joplin will host Branson. And Carthage will host Ozark. All matches will begin at 4:30 today. Next, we have softball. Joplin will host pool play tomorrow beginning at 10 a.m. Joplin, Carthage, Webb City, Neosho, and Seneca will all play in that. And there will also be a Field 1 hosting Pool A, Field 2 hosting Pool B, Field 3 hosting Pool C. So tune in to teams on Twitter pages or more information, and SWMO Sports as well. Check out Lucas Davis and Jason Peak on that one. They have all that stuff and all the schedules. So go check those out. Next, we have boys soccer. Carl Junction will head to Parkview. Webb City will host Monette, and Carthage will host College Heights. Games are tonight beginning at 6:30 and 7. And then next we have volleyball as Neosho will head to East Newton. Joplin will host Cassville. Webb City will host Harrisonville, and Carthage will host Siloam Springs. All these matches are tonight beginning at 6:30 or 7 p.m. as well. And we will finish with the 2-minute warning as we get the music started up here. And that will be brought to you by Hot Stone Pizzeria. Football in the 4 states began last week, and we had some big games. And, well, we're going to finish with who you got. First up, tonight, early game of the week, Webb City heads to Carl Junction. Who you got?
Webb City.
Okay.
I'm gonna go CJ.
Okay. I'll go Webb City here. I'll go Webb City. Close game though. Close game, no doubt. Then Friday, Carthage heads to Branson. Who you got?
Carthage.
Okay.
Carthage in a blowout.
Agree.
56-0.
All right. Run it into the ground, pass it through the air, whatever they want to do. Joplin heads to Willard this week. Who you got?
Joplin.
Okay.
In a blowout.
All right. We'll see. I have Joplin too, Tony. Joplin as well. Okay, all right, Tony, good job. And lastly, Neosho heads to Nixa. Who you got?
Sorry, repeat. Neosho goes where?
Nixa.
I will say Nixa. I'll say it's probably going to be like a 45-20 game or something like that.
What? Not 79 to 72?
I think Neosho plays a good game, but overall I think Nixa wins 42-28.
Compared to last year. I'll go Nixa here, blowout as well. Of course, all these games and events are pending to weather in the current and fluid COVID-19 situation, so tune in to each team's social media pages for times and updates. And, well, the music is here, and so is the end of another episode. For Tony, Tristen, CJ, and myself, have a great and safe rest of your week, and have a fun weekend. Congrats to everybody who won last week. Again, in our contest, I've still got those if you need them. If you watch this, come get them. We got them. So Guys, have a good, safe weekend, and yeah, go sports.
Go sports.
College football is back.
It is. We'll talk more on that next week. See you later. Definitely be covering that continually. And